Thanks for staying with us. Are you one of those people who's boggled by finance and accounts? Do financial statements get you all misty-eyed? This week on Marketplace 101, business coach Curtis Siewdass demystifies financial statements and shares simple strategies for staying on top of your business finances. Give us a bit of insight into your professional background.
Well, basically, what I did, I reviewed. I did my bachelor's and so on, but I am also an author. The reason I don't follow the conventional trends is because when I was looking at a lot of the different type of investing and portfolio investment and guidance to small businesses, what I found was, it stopped short. So I decided to start to develop my own techniques and technologies to be able to help these small business owners and the larger businesses as well. One of the things that I do is I try to make finance very, very simple. And that's one of the things that comes out of a lot of my seminars, is that it is so simple that, they understand the things at such a level. And that is what I always try to do, whether it is finance, marketing, whether it's portfolio investing, it doesn't matter. One of the things I do think about is that if it's very complex, your brain tends to forget it. And that's why I try to simplify the things that I teach.
Great. So someone wants to start a small business and they come to you for advice. They have no finance or accounting background. How would you advise them to begin?
This is an excellent question because it came up in our seminar on the 15th this month. And I told them, I said, the traditional theories tell you to go and invest a set of money and then wait on the profit. I don't go along those trends. What I said, I recommend to them is use what you call a one-sale technology. Start with the least amount of capital that you have and begin to just try to get one sale. When you've gotten one sale, your ambition is 2 sales and 3 sales. And then use that money to find a system like advertising inserts in the paper so you don't have to do the work. And then as you begin to grow like that, then you begin to go step by step. I never recommend to invest a whole set of capital up front and then lose money, because if you invest $12,000, before you even make profit, you have to make back that $12,000. So I recommend the reverse. In this way, it trains the entrepreneur how to manage their finances, how to manage their budgeting, how to manage all those sort of things. I would recommend simple things. Just be able to compare what you're spending from what you're getting. And use it when you now start off, go very, very slowly. Because as you begin to grow, you'll find that you begin to solve those problems. I don't solve problems for people. I guide them as to how to solve problems, because when they begin to solve those problems, it begin to give them a kind of emotional muscle. And then when they get that, they get momentum. And that's the thing that I really, really like in businesses. Business owners, actually. So
are you one of those people, because that's the vibe that I'm getting, that you don't necessarily need a whole lot of capital to get into business?
That's perfectly correct. Actually, when I started off doing my seminars and my other businesses, I told myself, listen, I don't have a lot of money. So what I simply did is I did a whole bunch of YouTube videos and I began to advertise that, and I ran it through a marketing system, and I began to get a list of people who will now purchase whatever I was offering. And that was free of charge. I mean, that was simply free of charge. The whole thing is to understand numbers. Like, for instance, if you're going to do advertising via YouTube, a minimum of 100 videos over, let's say, 6 months, and you start to get free advertising one time. And then the nice thing about it is you could pay somebody to do those videos for you, and you just duplicate the process over and over again.
And I suppose people also get a taste of what you have to offer through the videos.
That's correct. That's correct. Your personality comes out in the video, and that's an important thing. People don't want to see a whole sort of complex thing. They want to feel that it's somebody that they know, that they feel comfortable with, and that they really, really will trust. And that's the key to it.
For those of us who are not finance wired, we just don't get the numbers thing. Can you break down all the financial statements for us, please?
When I was looking at balance sheets and I was looking at profit and loss account and cash flow statements, I said, listen, any small business owner, right, it's a monumental task to really understand those things. Your balance sheet, what is your assets and your liabilities, your profit, what is your profit and your loss, your cash flow, what are the monies that's flowing through your business. But I tend to tell them, listen, just follow 2 ratios. How much you're spending versus how much you're making. So if it is you're spending more than you're making, like if it's $10 you're spending and you're only making $5, that ratio is really off. So you try to balance it off and begin to grow the amount that you're making. So even in big businesses, if you really look at a ratio like that, all they're trying to do is a balance of what you're making from what you're spending. And there are other technologies that you have to kind of support it. But really and truly, that's what it's about.
For all 3 statements?
That's all 3 statements. If you look at a balance sheet, if they come to the seminar, they'll understand that a balance sheet is simply assets and liabilities. And assets has, in traditional terms, assets will be things that you own. But in reality, any asset that you own has a 0 value until it's sold or you get a loan for it. So, if I were to follow the traditional trends of balance sheet, then I'll be teaching people the traditional things. I want to move out of that comfort zone and say, listen, we have to always factually correct according to the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. When you look at it from a cash flow point of view, a profit point of view, you begin to learn new things and new technologies when you come to the seminar to understand, listen, it's not only based on those things are important, but I want business owners to really understand, listen, what is my real cash flow from my fake cash flow? Meaning, what am I valuing as money when it's really just fixed assets or really just my stock? Because really and truly, stock is not worth anything until it's sold. And that's what business owners do. In one of my articles in one of the dailies that was headlined, I said, listen, your stock is not worth anything unless it's sold. And a lot of business owners, when you ask them, what do you own? They say, I own $1 million in stock. Really and truly, that is not any money until it's sold. And that's why I kind of simplify those kind of things down to ratios. Basically, what is your asset, your income versus your liability.
Is it necessary to produce these statements?
Yes, it is. According to the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, you have to have these statements done. The government has sought, and I think they've raised the bar from 200,000 to 300,000, where you have that leeway to grow your business, and then you begin to now pay the necessary fees and whatnot to the government. It's a good tracking of your business. It's a good in terms of accounting and so on. And I would always recommend it. But I do recommend a different thing. Find a system that does it for you, like some sort of software that will now do it for you. You plug in your income and expenditure, and you'll be able to produce those cash flow balance sheets, profit and loss account immediately. So a lot of software work like where you just write a check, and the check is produced, and it automatically does everything for you. For a small business owner, there's hundreds of software that can help you with that, and I do recommend things like that.
So there's no need for me to go and hire a independent accountant or a chartered accountant or any of those accounting firms?
You can, but remember, one of the premise with this thing is that you're trying to grow your business, and these companies, some of them charge a lot of money in terms of getting your accounting done. There are software that does it for you. And if you would do a research, let's say on Google, you'll find a lot of software that does it for you. And the thing is, YouTube is an amazing thing. I come back to YouTube. If you want to learn about these things, you go to YouTube and find out. Understanding a profit and loss account, understanding a balance sheet account, understanding a cash flow statement. And you get all this information at your own leisure, and you begin to build your knowledge base through there. And this software will help you. If you want to hire somebody, I would recommend you do it later on as your cash flow begins to build, because it doesn't make sense you're spending $10,000 on these sort of things and then you don't have money for your sales or your marketing or those kind of things. It is something that you do, but there are a cheaper way of doing it as well.
Is the software that you're recommending or that's available, do they meet the requirements of the government when it comes to reporting on your income and expenditure?
That are available now, and I don't want to advertise for the software, but these software that are available now, they will track all your income, expenditure, balance sheet, assets, those sort of things once you properly put it in. To answer your question directly, each country has a different financial mechanism or different taxation system, and you will have to, when you get your financial statement printed, you will have to spend just a tiny amount to let it review to find out if it is you're paying the correct taxes, if you're paying the correct, whatever things that is required by the government.
If you do decide that you don't trust the software and you want to hire an accounting professional to handle your accounts, what are some things people should look for when shopping around for accounting services?
If you go in for accounting services, you want somebody who can do not only a balance sheet. They're not just there to make money, but they're there to give you some advice in terms of how to improve your cash flow. Because if you do an account, you hire an accountant, and all he's there for really is to prepare a balance sheet, prepare those kind of things, and not sort of give you any sort of expertise. You know, those are the kinds that I want you to stay away from. The ones that are helpful, that use their own expertise to help you, are the ones that you want to move towards.
Cash flow versus profit. Some people have their eye on the profit, some people have their eye on the cash flow. Which one you really should be looking at?
You see, we come back to my technologies, which are much, much different. I prefer what you call fiscal foundation, where you have different cash flow streams, different profit centers, in other words, producing cash flow. So in other words, think of a table. If you have one financial leg, which is what most people have, they have one business producing one type of cash flow, one income stream. And if something goes wrong in that industry, what happens is that their profit very fast moves down. So what I recommend is that build unique cash flow streams that supports your financial table, and then produces for you a wealth of cash flow moving throughout your business. And that's where you begin to now really move into more stable profit, rather than a singular profit line where you have limited cash flow moving through your business.
When analyzing the financial statements, what are some things that you need to look for as a business owner?
If you're analyzing your financial statement, let's look at your balance sheet. Traditionally, you would look at your assets, your liabilities, and so on. I want people to do it according to what the government requires, but look at things like, let's just say on your balance sheet it says, your deposits as part of your current assets. You want to look at your deposit. Your deposits are structural investments, meaning if that structure didn't exist, your interest income doesn't exist. So I want people to kind of think differently from their balance sheets. Look at what you own in terms of, okay, these are my assets, but they're not producing money for me unless it's sold or it's liquidated. Similarly, your fixed deposits or your investments or your stocks and bonds, they are structural investments. They don't produce anything unless they're sold or you get capitalized interest from them. So I want people to kind of move away, understand what your balance sheet is, but also understand what are the things you're getting from it. Really move away from the traditional sense and begin to look at more cash flow basis, because that will help you in terms of any financial statement that is produced.
What are some of the most common finance and accounting mistakes that business owners make, and how can they be avoided?
There's an interesting question. I addressed it in another headline article in a newspaper, and some of the common ones is you viewing, as we said before, viewing your stock as money, right? And we need to move away from that. You need to look at what is real cash flow from what is fake cash flow. Real cash flow is businesses that are supporting you to produce money that then, let's put it very simply, if you have a number of unique businesses supporting you, it is going to balance off any fluctuations in your business. The other mistake that finance and accounting mistake that business owners make is that they revolve cash flow. What they tend to do is to put everything into one account, and they revolve cash flow so that you don't know what is profit from what is loss. And the other one is allocation of cash resources. As soon as you make profit, you need to allocate it to several different accounts. Your operating expense, paying yourself, and producing another cash flow. The other mistake that they make in terms of it is not allocating money for marketing. And there's a really important thing that you need to have in any business at all. And these are the common things that people find themselves in. And it's interesting that they go and they do the activity of their business, but they forget the fact that they have to allocate this cash and they have to market their business.
Not just leave what's left over for marketing.
That is correct.
You have a seminar coming up. Tell us when it's going to be held and what can be expected at the seminar, and of course how we can contact you.
Wonderful. The seminar is on the 13th of July, which is a Saturday. It's from 1 to 5 p.m., a really full session. It is at Grace Conference Center in Tunapuna. The cost of it is $3.99, but if people register today, they get a full $100 off at $299. The reason I make it so affordable is because I know business owners are struggling. So, but the offer is only for today. And how you get the information is that you email moneyexpert001@gmail.com. So that's, if you missed it just now, it'll be moneyexpert001@gmail.com, and you'll get all the information.
Excellent. Who should attend the seminar?
This seminar is really designed for individuals and small business owners. It doesn't matter if it is, if you're a manager as well, attend the seminar, because I actually had a very, very influential manager who attended my seminar last Saturday, sorry, and he was blown away by the technologies that he learned. Who shall attend? If you're an individual and you are working for a salary, you will gain a lot from this. Actually, there are 3 people who were salary people came to the seminar. If you're a small business owner and you're looking to improve your profits and improve your cash flow, come to the seminar as well. And the thing is, what I teach is scalable, so you have small business owners and large business owners as well.